Imagine a time so distant that it stretches the limits of our imagination. A world before the first pyramids rose from the sands, before the last woolly mammoth took its final breath, before the continents drifted into the familiar shapes we know today. Picture a planet in flux, where the land itself was still finding its place, and the creatures that roamed it were unlike anything alive now. We're traveling back 7 million years, to a chapter of Earth's history that marks the very dawn of our evolutionary story. This is a time when the world was wild and untamed, and the first hints of what would become humanity were just beginning to emerge. In this ancient era, the climate was shifting, and vast stretches of what is now desert may have been lush with life. Rivers winding through green landscapes teeming with creatures both familiar and strange. It was here, in the heart of what we now call the Jurub Desert of Chad, that a remarkable story began to unfold. In this remote and unforgiving landscape, a creature lived and died, its bones slowly buried by the sands of time, fossilized over millions of years. These ancient remains would become a silent witness, holding secrets about one of the most profound questions in science. When did our ancestors first rise and walk upright? The fossils discovered here, known as Sahelanthropus chadensis, are far more than just ancient bones. They are a Rosetta Stone for understanding the origins of humanity, a set of clues that help us decipher the earliest chapters of our own story. Their discovery has given scientists a rare glimpse into a world that predates even our earliest ancestors. When a dedicated team from the University of Poitiers unearthed these precious remains, they ignited a scientific debate that would challenge everything we thought we knew about the dawn of humanity. The questions raised by these fossils would ripple through the scientific community, forcing experts to reconsider the timeline and geography of our origins. Nicknamed Tumai, which means hope of life in the local Goran language, this fossil is more than just a relic. It's a direct message from a world so ancient, it's almost beyond comprehension. Tumai's skull, with its unique blend of ape-like and human-like features, offers a tantalizing glimpse into the earliest stages of our evolutionary journey. Sahelanthropus lived at the very opening scene of the hominin lineage, standing at the crossroads between ape and human. Its existence connects our modern world to a creature that may have taken the very first upright steps, forever changing the course of evolution and setting us on the path that would eventually lead to modern humans. These ancient bones are a physical link to the very beginning of the long and winding road that led to us, a whisper from the distant past, reminding us that our story began in a world both alien and familiar, shaped by time, chance, and the relentless drive to survive. When the Sahelanthropus skull was first reconstructed, its features captivated scientists and ignited a wave of excitement in the paleoanthropology community. Here was a fossil, unearthed from the sands of Chad, that seemed to challenge everything we thought we knew about our earliest ancestors. The skull, battered by time yet remarkably preserved, offered a tantalizing glimpse into a distant chapter of human evolution. The small brain case was expected for such an ancient creature, but what truly caught researchers off guard were the flat face and small canines, traits that appeared strikingly human-like. These features set Sahelanthropus apart from other apes of its era, hinting at a possible connection to the human lineage. The combination of primitive and advanced characteristics sparked debates and fueled new hypotheses about our origins. Yet the real intrigue lay in the position of the foramen magnum, the hole at the base of the skull where the spinal cord connects. In Sahelanthropus, it was positioned more forward than in most apes, suggesting the possibility of upright posture and bipedal movement. This anatomical clue hinted that walking on two legs might have evolved earlier than previously believed, pushing the timeline of hominin evolution back even further. Could this fossil truly represent the earliest known hominin, potentially pushing our lineage back by nearly 1 million years? The implications were profound, challenging established theories and opening new avenues of research. If Sahelanthropus was indeed a direct ancestor, it would rewrite the story of how and when humans first emerged in Africa. The skull seemed to whisper yes, but the evidence was limited and the claim undeniably bold. With only a single cranium and a few jaw fragments to study, scientists were left with more questions than answers. The fossil's age and location made it a compelling candidate, but the lack of additional remains left room for doubt. Some experts argued that the skull's features might have been distorted by the immense pressures of fossilization, making it difficult to draw firm conclusions. And without limb bones or a more complete skeleton, the case for upright walking remained speculative. The debate over Sahelanthropus's place in our family tree was far from settled. The skull posed a profound question: was Sahelanthropus truly our ancestor, or simply an unusual ancient ape with some human-like traits? The answer would have far-reaching implications for our understanding of evolution, identity, and the very roots of humanity. For now, the answer remains buried in the earth, waiting for new discoveries and more evidence to bring the story of our origins into sharper focus. Alongside the now famous skull, scientists uncovered a handful of bone fragments, most notably pieces of a femur and forearm. These weren't just any bones, they were the keys to unlocking one of the biggest mysteries in human evolution. How did Sahelanthropus move through its world? The way these ancient bones fit together, their shape and structure, could reveal whether this early hominin walked upright like us, or moved on all fours like an ape. The excitement in the scientific community was palpable, as these rare fossils offered a tantalizing glimpse into our distant past. Early studies of the femur, however, painted a complicated picture. Some researchers argued that the bone's features were more similar to those of quadrupedal apes, suggesting Sahelanthropus might not have been a true biped after all. This interpretation casts significant doubt on its place in our evolutionary lineage, challenging the idea that it was one of our earliest upright ancestors. Others, though, saw hints of bipedalism in the fossil's subtle curves and angles, fueling a heated debate that would last for years. The debate quickly polarized the field. Was Sahelanthropus a bipedal ancestor bravely striding across the Miocene landscape, or was it simply another ancient ape, its bones telling a different story than we hoped? The evidence was frustratingly fragmentary, the bones incomplete and weathered by time. Each new analysis seemed to raise more questions than answers, and interpretations varied widely depending on which features scientists focused on. Conferences and journals buzzed with competing theories as experts pored over every millimeter of fossilized bone. Science, of course, thrives on such uncertainty. Progress is often slow, and consensus can be elusive when the evidence is so limited. The limb bones became the focal point of intense scrutiny, with teams from around the world re-examining the fossils using new technologies and methods. Yet, despite all the effort, the story these bones told remained stubbornly hard to read, like a puzzle with too many missing pieces. For years, the scientific community found itself at an impasse, waiting for new discoveries or fresh insights that might tip the scales. The mystery of Sahelanthropus's movement, whether it walked upright, climbed trees, or did something entirely unexpected, remained unsolved. This decade-long debate not only highlighted the challenges of interpreting ancient fossils, but also underscored the passion and persistence of those determined to piece together the story of our origins. The deadlock broke with new technology, not new fossils. Scientists used micro-CT scanning to create detailed 3D models of the femur and ulna, revealing their internal structure. Advanced geometric morphometrics allowed precise comparison with bones from humans, apes, and other hominins. This moved the debate from subjective opinions to objective, quantitative data. Hundreds of data points were analyzed, uncovering patterns invisible to the naked eye. With these tools, scientists could finally interrogate the bones and decode their story. The 3D analysis revealed a crucial feature, a femoral tubercle, the anchor for the iliofemoral ligament. This ligament, vital for upright posture, is well developed only in bipeds. Apes lack this bony ridge. Its presence in Sahelanthropus was a game-changer. Until now, only confirmed bipedal hominins had this feature. The femoral tubercle was clear, anatomical evidence of upright walking. This detail countered earlier claims that the femur was ape-like. The proof was in the details. Sahelanthropus's hip was built for bipedalism. It stood on 2 feet, supported by the same ligament system we use today. The femoral tubercle was just the start. The femur's twist, femoral antitorsion, matched that of bipedal hominins, not apes. This twist orients knees and feet forward, key for efficient walking. Digital models let scientists reconstruct muscle attachments, revealing gluteal muscles suited for upright stability. In apes, these muscles are built for climbing. In Sahelanthropus, they stabilize the hips for walking. 3 lines of evidence, the tubercle, the twist, and the muscle structure, pointed to bipedalism. The femur and skull told the same story. This was an upright walker. Sahelanthropus was not just another ape. It was a pioneer of 2-legged movement. Sahelanthropus was a biped, but not a human. Its body was a mosaic. Legs adapted for walking, arms still powerful for climbing. It was a bipedal ape, bridging life in the trees and on the ground. The ulna showed strong forearms, perfect for climbing, while the femur told of upright walking. Its brain was chimp-sized. The first leap was posture, not intellect. Bipedalism evolved long before big brains. Picture Sahelanthropus foraging on 2 legs, then retreating to the trees for safety. It was an evolutionary experiment, the first draft of the human stride. Confirming bipedalism in a 7-million-year-old species rewrites our evolutionary timeline. Sahelanthropus pushes the origin of upright walking back by at least 1 million years. Bipedalism emerged almost immediately after our split from chimpanzees, making it a defining trait of hominins. The classic savanna hypothesis doesn't fit. Sahelanthropus lived in woodlands and wetlands. This discovery makes bipedalism in other ancient species more plausible. Early hominin evolution was likely a diverse radiation of bipedal apes across Africa. The story of Sahelanthropus is science in action, curiosity, debate, and discovery. This fossil connects us to the root of our humanity, showing that upright walking was the first great leap. It freed our hands, changed our perspective, and set us on the path to civilization. The journey isn't over. Many chapters remain buried, waiting to be found. Science is a dynamic process, always questioning and revising. Next time you stand up, remember the ancient creature that took those first steps. Its legacy is written in your bones. The quest to understand our origins continues, driven by the same curiosity that defines us.